Hey everybody, Nicole from Whittle Grove here, and today I'm going to be taking you down the rabbit hole that is the incredible world of growing super hot chilies and peppers. So, a bit of background. If you aren't aware of the incredible world that is the super hot chili growers, there is a whole subset of gardening enthusiasts that dedicate their time to growing chilies and peppers. Now, you might be wondering why I keep calling them peppers when they are chilies here in Australia. And fun fact, it has to do with Christopher Columbus when he discovered the Americas. He discovered it at a time when the black pepper that we know, or peppercorns that we know, were at an absolute premium. So when he discovered these little hot spicy boys, he branded them as peppers as a way to, like all things in early capitalism, increase revenue. So that's why some places refer to them as peppers. I planted my first lot of super hot chilies at probably towards the end of autumn, which is really not ideal growing conditions at all. I was very mindful, I'd already planted them and they were not going anywhere because super hot chilies are really slow to germinate, even in the best of times. But these ones were taking a really long time, and that's how I discovered that there is this incredible world of chili growers. And that's when I learned about that they need it warm and sometimes you might need to sow them indoors. So I came up with this incredible bootleg indoor growing solution, and it involves a $10 strip light or LED light that I got from Bunnings. It's great because it was battery powered. So originally it was in, I think, my son or daughter's bedroom, battery powered, gobbled up the batteries though, as you'd expect. But it also came with an adapter to turn it into mains power as well. So I just used that. I have a little razor and I've just cleared the bottom of my plant shelf and I've stuck it in there. And so it's really nothing flash to look at all. And I did not think it would work. I did not think it would start these seeds at all, but apparently that was just what they needed. They needed that little bit of warmth. And yeah, they've seeded. So once they sprouted, we did have a little bit of struggle time with them just because I also invested in my little greenhouse. And I wasn't aware that keeping it zipped up all the time might not be a good thing because the humidity is going to go to 100% and then things are going to grow in there, which is not ideal at all. So after a little bit of experimenting and whatnot, I'm pleased to introduce some of my babies. So this here is my scorpion choc. So he's not much impressive to look at, but he's going well. And he's the only one. So I bought the packets of seeds. I think they were about $4.50 per seed packet, and they only contained 9 seeds each. They're cheeky. On the packet, they say around 10. So I suppose 9 is around 10, huh? So he's the only one that grew, and he's got a little buggy on him. Oh, it died. That's good. So he's the only one of his kind that actually has survived the grueling fest that is trying to live in my greenhouse. And then I've also got Carolina Reapers. So this is my most impressive one. I don't know if I'll shoot it properly. This is my most impressive Carolina Reaper, and 3 of these actually grew, which is incredible. And they're just loving life now that I've got them in the right position. I've repotted them twice because I had them in seed starter trays. Then I potted them up into cups, I think it was, just clear plastic cups. And because of the whole humidity thing, the soil got all moss growing through it. It was just not nice. So I've repotted them once again, and I've put them in proper potting soil that is suitable for tomatoes and peppers and whatnot. So they're really happy. They live in a corner where they are probably only just getting enough sun. But because they're sort of tucked away around the corner, they're not copping any of that cold wind, and it's still quite warm in their little grow tent thing. So they're growing really happy. So now that I've got them growing, it's time. And I'm we're really coming towards the end of winter. I am laughing at the fact that I've gone and bought some additional seeds, and now the weather outside is just reminding me hey, you might be jumping the gun, slow it down there, champ. But I've actually managed. So these are the new guys that I have purchased. So I feel like jalapeno, look, Taste of the World Kitchen. So we've got some jalapenos. Fun fact, apparently people eat them green, but they actually go to red. So I'm kind of cool to see that. And the heirlooms, yay. We've got the old classic cayenne pepper. These are also heirlooms. These are a 4 out of 5 heat scale, so they're pretty tame, all things considered. And then we've got my faves. So obviously I've got my ghost peppers, which I'm really excited to try. And then I've also got the scorpion chocolates as well, which this guy here is a scorpion choc. I've only got one of him, so and I'm basically just buying them as they pop up at the shop because I don't know, I kind of fancy myself as selling these later on because I'm kind of obsessed with super hots, and all the research I've learned is that when you want to start selling plants, you should specialize in something. Video for another day, I'm sure. So yeah, and that's a scorpion choc there. So that's what the final product's going to look like. And I will just point you to, we've got the old Shu guide here. So Shu is the heat index essentially. So my beautiful Reaper here comes in at a casual 2 million Shu, and by comparison, our little cayenne pepper, which I think if I remind you, it had a 4 out of 5 heat rating. I'm so unorganized today. Sorry, guys. This is a 4 out of 5 heat rating, but according to the Shu scale, it's still pretty spicy at a casual 50,000. So you might be wondering what I'm planning on doing with all of these chilies and peppers, and that's the fun part. So I was talking to a friend at dinner last night, and he kind of looked at me skeptically and said, "Are you really that old that you now do gardening videos?" Which I laughed at. It's true. I am getting old. I have some greys now, right? But then he also said to me, and it did kind of really resonate with me. He talked about how he's like, I didn't think you were into really spicy stuff. Now, yes and no. I'm not into eating things for the sake of heat. And you might be wondering, but Nicole, you're growing a 2 million Shu Reaper. And you're right. But I think what has really fascinated me about the idea of growing these super hots is all of the variety of things that you can do with them. So I'm really fascinated with the idea of making rubs and sauces and flakes, and just, I really think that chili trees as a whole are quite beautiful. And I mean, some of these things just look so peculiar, like this, like it looks like some kind of, I don't know, malformed capsicum. And I love that the idea it's got chocolate, you know. Also, you get 20 seeds in this one, apparently. So how did I only manage with a single scorpion choc? Maybe trickier than I thought. So I'm really excited to see what some of these look like. And I'm like, are there any? So we've got the Reaper here. Oh, no, this is the Ghost. Where does the Ghost even come in on the scale? Sorry, it's just 750K. So I'm like, oh, well, is it the smaller and wrinklier they are, is the crazier the heat? And I'll put some stuff up on the screen and some of the really beautiful chilies and peppers I've seen in some of these communities dedicated to pepper growing. So I'm really excited to just see how that comes along. And I just feel like I love the idea of growing something that's a little bit unique. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Woolies or Coles selling Reaper, like Carolina Reaper chilies fresh. So I'm really excited to do that. Obviously, I am absolutely no expert when it comes to chili growing at all. I'm so proud of these though, because they've grown them out of season, it would seem, and they look like they're going really happy and really well. Other people will tell you that, well, it's stunted, it should be bigger or whatnot. I don't care. I don't care, it's beautiful and it's mine and I'm really proud of it. There are some incredible resources that I will link down in the description. So if you are interested in getting into the world of chili or pepper growing, there are some really fantastic YouTube channels that are actually like exclusively dedicated to growing chilies, which is fascinating. And I'll also post a link to the Hot Peppers Reddit community as well, which is one of my absolute favorites. And that's where I've seen some real ripper chilies. Like there was this one with yellow and red streaks through it, and so cool. Anyway, have you ever dabbled in the art of growing chilies or peppers out of season, or just in general? Do you have any tips and tricks you'd like to share? Please leave them down in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. I've been Nicole from Whittle Grove. Please like, subscribe,